Now, we know that sometimes to get things moving, you need to lobby for government to take a position. You need to go to parliament for legislation to be done so that an industry can be grown. This conference, of course, brings together government and the private sector. And now that we are learning about cities of the future and the role the private sector brings in, and I'm very excited to see here a lot of the members of National Assembly of the IT and Energy Committee, so that they can hear what the problems of the industry are. They can hear what we need to do to ensure that the industry grows and leads us to the direction that we need to go. I'd like to invite Michael Macharia up here, who is KITO's council member, just to tell us some of the issues that they see the industry has and where they think the government can come in and add value to ensure that we go where we are supposed to go, both in the industry and also in nurturing talent that will enable Kenya to have the future cities of the world that we are talking about. Michael.
Thanks, Honorable Mweke. I think we representing the industry, some of the challenges we've been facing, or what we think could be policy decisions that we can move forward, is the issue of procurement. Now, traditionally, the procurement law has been designed to safeguard public interest from corruption, for sure, but has unfortunately become punitive to SMEs, local SMEs, where the SMEs are forced to compete with international companies, which is okay, we don't say no, but there has to be a way to create sort of a better playing field for local SMEs. As a result, SMEs in IT and IT-enabled services remain small, despite the fact that they contribute to the creation and development of local human capital. For instance, in this industry, in IT industry, you find that most people who start the industry start working for SMEs. They do not naturally jump into large multinationals. So the SMEs create a big part in terms of driving human capital development. Now, we find that there are also challenges in terms of procurement. For instance, there are different ways of procuring government services. You have got state-funded procurement projects, IT projects. You've got government-to-government-led procurement projects. And you've got donor-led procurement projects. And all those projects naturally come with different procurement agendas and also different procurement rules that do not necessarily take in cognition the local SMEs that we are growing in the marketplace. So what you're trying to do is find out, can we create a mechanism or a policy that is able to nurture SMEs or create a way in which SMEs can work with larger, or in the larger ecosystem, such that even as we encourage multinationals to come into the play, we are also able to allow SMEs to grow and also to be given a level playing field together at the same time nurturing them and also encouraging performance and also bringing multinationals into the marketplace. The next thing is also, how do we build a Vision 2030 and knowledge economy using and working with SMEs? How do we ensure that projects that we embark on, sensitive government projects, we do not drain away our intellectual property? How do we ensure that we build intellectual property at a country level? Because of serious projects that we undergo, at the same projects will need to again resell that intellectual property across global markets. For instance, M-Pesa was built here, and today it's a global phenomenon, right? So we also have projects that we can build local IP and resell this local IP across Africa. Because we are saying, how do we become a knowledge economy if we do not export some of this value outside the country? And lastly, second last, is the issue of PPPs. How do we develop, we are talking about PPPs and creating public-private partnerships, and what is the role of local SMEs? And I'm speaking here as a member of KITOS. How do we ensure that even as we build PPPs, okay, we look at we look at preference of local companies, and how do those local companies play in the role in those PPPs? Because we definitely are going to see a lot of PPPs rolling out across the market. Now, in tandem with the Vision 2030, one of the things we've talked about in terms of national IT agenda, ICT agenda, is developing 100 flagship companies, IT companies, local companies. How do you ensure within that whole roadmap, as we go into the flagship projects, we are taking cognition that in future we're going to have key flag bearers of a country from a technology point of view, okay? And finally, in terms of research and development, today you find there's really no space currently we don't have venture capital funds in this marketplace. And it's either bank funding or private equity funding. How do we then encourage, okay, research-based venture capital funds, okay? We know, for instance, there's going to be the Universal Service Fund in Kenya. We're going to start contributing, I guess, 1% or 0.5% from July, right? How do we ensure that money can be reinvested back and such that government can sort of co-invest with venture capital organizations to sort of create a fund to nurture, to create venture capital funds to drive SME businesses in terms of innovation, in terms of research and development? Thank you.